For years, Marvel fans have been chasing shadows, searching every frame, every line of dialogue, for signs of one villain in particular, the devil of the MCU, the mastermind behind the chaos, the name whispered in every theory thread from Reddit to YouTube comments, Mephisto. It started as a joke, then it became an obsession, and now, it might finally be real. Because in the latest trailer for Ironheart, something strange is happening, something Marvel doesn't want you to notice. Red transmutation circles, a perfect fusion of magic and technology, and at the center of it all is a character who's never been officially confirmed, never been shown, but whose fingerprints are all over this story. And if the leaks, the trailer clues, and the casting rumors are right, Marvel might have just made their biggest reveal yet, without saying a word. To understand why this moment is such a big deal, you have to go back. Because Mephisto isn't just another Marvel villain. He's the villain fans have been expecting for years. His name first exploded into the spotlight during WandaVision, when cryptic visuals, weird commercials, and dark magical themes had fans convinced he was hiding behind every twist. Every shadowy figure, Mephisto. Every creepy line of dialogue, Mephisto. Every time something didn't make sense, there was only one answer online. It had to be him. But the show came and went. No Mephisto. Then came Loki, Multiverse of Madness, and Moon Knight. More magic, more mystery, more chances, and still, nothing. At some point, the speculation became a running gag, almost like Marvel was teasing fans on purpose, dropping just enough hints to keep the conspiracy alive, but never confirming anything. But that cycle might be about to break, because this time, in Ironheart, something's different. The signs aren't vague, the symbols aren't abstract, they're direct, they're visual, and they're impossible to explain away. And if those signs really mean what fans think they do, Mephisto's finally stepping out of the shadows. The Ironheart trailer wastes no time showing you this isn't just another tech-based hero story. Riri Williams is back, smarter, sharper, and building something entirely new. But what caught everyone's attention weren't the upgrades to her armor. It was what she was drawing. In multiple frames, Riri is shown tracing glowing red symbols into the air, intricate, layered, and unmistakably magical. For longtime Marvel fans, those weren't just pretty visuals. They were a flashing neon sign, transmutation circles, the kind we've seen associated with demonic magic in comics, and more importantly, with one particular villain who thrives on manipulation and corruption. Within hours of the trailer dropping, screenshots were flying across social media. Fans on X, formerly Twitter, were breaking down the symbols, comparing them to scenes from Doctor Strange and even alchemy-based comics. But one name kept rising to the top: Mephisto. Because while the Hood, played by Anthony Ramos, is already confirmed as the show's magical antagonist, his comic origins are deeply tied to demonic powers. And if he's channeling that kind of energy, then someone, or something, is giving it to him. Even more suspicious? Riri isn't just observing magic, she's combining it with her tech, fusing arcane energy into the heart of her suit. And that's never been done before in the MCU. Magic and technology don't just mix by accident. There's always a source, and that source might finally have a name. At the heart of Ironheart is a collision course. On one side, you've got Riri Williams, brilliant, grounded in science, and building her own future with tech. On the other, Parker Robbins, aka the Hood, a smooth-talking criminal with one massive advantage: supernatural power. Marvel isn't hiding this theme. The entire show is built around the tension between science and sorcery, logic and the unknown. It's a dynamic we've only seen a few times before, most notably in Doctor Strange clashing with Tony Stark, or when the Scarlet Witch stepped into multiversal chaos with her raw magic. But in Ironheart, that contrast is the main event. And that's exactly what makes this series feel like more than just a battle between a tech prodigy and a street sorcerer. Because when you zoom out, the question becomes clear: where is the Hood getting his power? In the comics, Robbins doesn't just stumble into magic. He gets it from a demon. Sometimes Dormammu, sometimes other dark entities. But one name keeps coming back across different storylines and reboots: Mephisto. So if Ironheart is really diving into this conflict between raw science and corrupting magic, it wouldn't just make sense for Mephisto to appear, it would feel inevitable. And what's even more telling, the fusion of magic into Riri's suit, that's not coming from the Hood. That's something else, someone higher, someone pulling strings behind the curtain. And the next piece of the puzzle might have already leaked. In October 2023, something strange surfaced, something Marvel didn't officially announce but couldn't completely hide. A copyright listing for Ironheart was quietly filed in the US Copyright Office database. Nothing unusual there, except one name stood out: Sacha Baron Cohen, credited only as Mystery Man. For most actors, that might seem like a throwaway role. But Sacha Baron Cohen isn't just any actor. He's known for disappearing into bold, unpredictable characters like Borat, Ali G, and Bruno, roles that balance chaos with control, charisma with menace. And fans immediately picked up on the match. This wasn't just some minor background cameo. This was someone important, someone powerful, someone like Mephisto. The rumor had already been floating for a year before the copyright hit. Back in 2022, whispers began circulating that Cohen had joined the MCU in a dark, magical role. And while Marvel stayed silent, industry insiders continued pointing to Ironheart as the project. The Mystery Man listing? That only added fuel to the fire. Now, let's be clear. Marvel hasn't confirmed a thing. They haven't named Mephisto. They haven't confirmed Cohen's exact character. But when you combine the trailer's visuals, the theme of corrupted magic, and this quiet casting clue, it paints a picture too vivid to ignore. Cohen's style, charming on the surface but with something sinister just beneath, fits Mephisto perfectly. He doesn't need horns or fire to be terrifying. Just a smile, a whisper, and a deal you can't take back. And if this is true, then Marvel may have just cast the most dangerous villain the MCU has ever seen, without even saying his name. Speculation is nothing new in the MCU. Fans have gotten burned before. But this time, there's a different energy, because everything in Ironheart points toward a presence that's bigger than just the hood. And when you trace the origin of the powers, the symbols, and even the show's tone, it all starts lining up. Let's talk Parker Robbins. In the comics, his powers come from a demonic cloak, a gift from a hellish entity. Marvel may have reworked his backstory for the show, but that supernatural core remains. And the hood's magic doesn't exist in isolation. Something or someone is feeding it. Now enter Riri. She's not just fighting magic, she's integrating it, enhancing her tech with it. That's not a natural leap. That's transformation driven by a force far beyond her understanding. And in the MCU, only a few beings can trigger that kind of evolution. Mephisto is near the top of that list. Even the show's DNA hints at it. According to executive producer Ryan Coogler, Ironheart is a crazy combination of Daredevil, Doctor Strange, and WandaVision. That's street-level grit, mystical madness, and mind-bending reality all in one. And only one villain fits across those dimensions: Mephisto. He doesn't kick down doors or lead armies. He whispers. He tempts. He plays the long game, offering power for a price and pulling strings from the shadows. He's never fully present, but never truly gone, always influencing. So no, this isn't wild guessing. The clues are in place. The structure's there. And the villain fans have been waiting for might already be in motion. When people think Ironheart, they expect a tech-driven story. Riri as a modern Iron Man, solving problems with science. But that might be exactly what Marvel wants you to believe, because this show isn't following the rules. It's layered. On one side, Riri in Chicago, the hood, street-level stakes, real danger. But beneath that, something darker. Magic is bleeding into the story, infecting her tech, twisting what should be grounded into something stranger. And that's Mephisto's playground. WandaVision gave us warped reality. Doctor Strange revealed magic's cost. Daredevil grounded us in consequence. Ironheart is all of that, at once. And when you add demonic visuals, mysterious casting, and a villain whose powers beg for a darker origin, it doesn't feel like coincidence. Marvel's not just bending genres, they're smuggling in something terrifying. If Mephisto's here, he's doing what he always does, hiding in plain sight. Let's recap. A trailer filled with red transmutation circles, a story of magic corrupting tech. A secretive casting choice that fits too well, a tone that blends urban realism with supernatural horror. This isn't just a theory. The signs point somewhere real. Whether Marvel's guarding a twist or letting speculation grow, it's working. And if Mephisto is behind Ironheart, we're not just looking at another villain. We're seeing the MCU's next great manipulator. But with Mephisto, the truth doesn't come easy. He doesn't knock. He waits. He tempts. He deals. And by the time you realize he was there all along, it's already too late.